Kadosh Boker or Masechet Nedarim Daf Dalet Amud Aleph 481 says the Gemara. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar. Rav Acha bar Yaakov says, what is the case where we're going to come? Where we're going to be, right? We're going to be, right? You remember yesterday we were speaking about, we wanted to try to find out how could a person be over on Bal Te'acher. Bal Te'acher means that you were late, right? You know, something. Well, it means also on payment. You're right. There's Bal Te'acher in payment for the korbanot, right? But there's Bal Te'acher also in the shiur. There's Bal Te'acher in everything. I mean, if you come late, so that's called Bal Te'acher. So how do we know that a person is going to be Bal Te'acher on Nezirut? Nezirut means becoming a Nazir. So how could that happen? So he comes and he says, "Kigon de nadar vehu b'bet hakvarot." For example, he went and he made a neder in Nezirut, and he's in the Bet HaKvarot. So now, since he's in the cemetery, and he says, I'm going to become a Nazir, but he's in the cemetery. So therefore, right, what happens is that if he doesn't go out immediately, he's over, he transgresses on Bal Te'acher. Because he had to leave immediately, and he didn't leave. He had, it accepts upon himself immediately, and he didn't leave the cemetery. He's inside the cemetery. So, Hechal Mandamar, that's good according to the Mandamar. No, basically, the person that comes and he says, Hareni Nazir, he becomes a Nazir immediately. Yeah. Is a Nazir allowed to be in the cemetery? No. But he's in the cemetery right now, and he says the words, I'm going to become a Nazir. So what does he need to do? He needs to leave immediately. So if he doesn't leave immediately, what does he just do? He transgresses on Bal Te'acher. What if he says, as soon as I leave, I'm a Nazir? This is good according to the Manda Amar lo chayla le Naziru me'altar. That it is not chal le'altar immediately. Right, which means that according to this, a person has to accept upon himself Nazirut Keshitar when he becomes pure, not immediately, which means like this. Right now, he's already Tameh. He's already in the Bet HaKvarot. He's already Tameh. So therefore, there's going to be a mandama that it's not Chal immediately his Nazirut. Why? He first has to purify himself from the Bet HaKvarot, and then he becomes a Nazir. But according to the mandama, Me'altar Chaylale, Mi'ika Bal Te'acher, is there Bal Te'acher? Why? Because if it's already going to be Chal the Nazirut, and he doesn't have to accept upon himself again the Nazirut when he becomes pure. So therefore, how is he me'acher his neder? How is he postponing his neder? Ve'od, and furthermore, Haman Mor Baravashi, Chayle Nazirut ale me'altar, right? It's going to be Chal immediately, right? That he doesn't have to accept upon himself again the Nazirut when he becomes pure. So when is a machloket? Only to do with malkut, right? That means only to do with lashes. So therefore, what does that mean only to do with lashes? Which means that even according to everybody, he becomes a Nazir in the Bet HaKvarot. The Shakish says he doesn't get lashes on the drinking of wine or doing the things until he starts counting Nazirut when he's pure. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, even in the Bet HaKvarot, he already starts the Nazirut, and therefore he could get lashes. Right? Means right now, he just left the cemetery. He just took a cup of grape juice, boom, lashes. Right? According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's a machloket. So says the Gemara, so says the Gemara, but still there's going to be Bal Te'acher because he's waiting to become pure. Meaning the fact that he's still in the cemetery, as long as he's in the cemetery, he's postponing his Nezirut. The Nezirut was Chal immediately, but he's still in the cemetery. So therefore he has to, that's the Bal Te'acher. Bal Te'acher is until he doesn't get out, purify himself. And therefore, so that's a problem. That's why he's over on Bal Te'acher. So Amar Rashi says, now that we just said that, Nazir shetitzmei atzmo b'mezid over mishum Bal Te'acher Nezirut hara. Do you know that if a Nazir comes, he's already a Nazir, and he impurifies himself b'mezid? Now we know that that's a sur already. But if he does that, he's also going to be over on Bal Te'acher. Why? Of the Tara. Because when he impurifies himself, he's now stopping that now he has to wait until he to purify himself. So therefore, he's also over on Bal Te'acher. Because that means we thought the Bal Te'acher only starts at the beginning. Meaning I tell you, come to Mincha at 6:30, you don't come at 6:30, you're over on Bal Te'acher. I come and I tell you, come to Shiur at this time, you don't come to Mishpah, you're Bal Te'acher. No. Now even in the middle. Meaning, a person's in the middle of the Shiur, middle of the Daf Yomi. He comes and he takes a phone call, and he goes out, and then he comes back inside, that's called Bal Te'acher. Why? Because he's postponing, he's making it, exactly something with Nazirut. A person's a Nazir right now. He already started the Nazirut. He impurifies himself, uses the phone in the middle of the shiur, right? He purifies himself. So what happens? What happens is that now, right, when he's going to come back into the Nazirut that he had to purify himself, he's also going to be over on Bal Te'acher. Another explanation. No, you know what the Bal Te'acher is? The tiglachat. Why? We know that when does he have to actually do the tiglachat? At the end of his ta'arato, correct? When he becomes pure at the end of his 30 days, He comes, he has to shave everything off, he has to bring a korban, he has to do all these things. Now, this is going to be obviously the Chatila and the Nazarat, Nashim and all these things. Okay, so now what happens is that this is going to happen immediately. But now what happened is that since right now he came and he had to start again the count, right? Because he became impure in the middle. So therefore he's Bal Te'acher on the Tiglachat. He's Bal Te'acher on his Korban. He had to bring the Korban. And he didn't bring the Korban. Right? Why? Because he became impure. Since, no, well, anyway, he's not allowed to do it until after he finishes. So now he doesn't finish. He finishes the 30 days. If in the middle he became impure, he's 7 days to think, he means he has to start again, or he has to, so now that he's already Bal Te'acher. Bal Te'acher, then now he's waiting until beforehand. Yeah? And not only do we want to say that the Bal Te'acher is going to be according to the Mandam Tiglachat Me'akev, that the Tiglachat is going to be Me'akev, but even according to the Mandam Tiglachat is not Me'akev, which means that the cutting of the hair is not going to be Me'akev, mitzvat giluach, right? Mi'a lo mekayem, but he's not going to be Mekayem the mitzvah of the giluach, okay? So he comes now and he says as follows. So Marzutra Berev de Rav Mari Amar, Marzutra, the son of Rav Mari, comes and he says, he's going to be over bebal te'acher bekorbanutav, in the korbanot, not in the tiglachat. There's one opinion that says, okay, he didn't do tiglachat, big deal. It's not me'akev, but the korbanot are me'akev. So min hacha nafkalen, he learns it from here, from the bal te'acher and korbanot. He learns it ki darosh idreshenu. These are the chataot and hashamot. The kavanah is for chatat and hasham. That is an obligation for a person to bring it, which means that also the korbanot of the nazir, which is a korbanot chova, he has to bring it right away, and it's not going to be some. So if it's going to be a problem of bal te'acher. So says the Gemara, Ma'ud Tema, I would have basof. Everything's basof. Everything's basof. So that's why, because he's me'akev otam. But now that he's coming and he's not bringing them right away, it's bal te'acher. No, how does he finish his nizirut process? Tiglachat the korbanot. It's a yitziyah, but he's not bringing the korbanot, and that's bal te'acher. Bal te'acher zela korban. But on the korban. So Ma'u the Tema, I would have thought to say chidushu shechidushat Torah benazir. I would have thought to say that this is a chidush that the Torah said by a nazir. What does that mean? That the nazir has a special din in korbanot, which are not like the other korbanot. I mean, we already know that there's a bal te'acher by korbanot. Just like we said that the Rambam brings down the bal te'acher by korbanot, and then they applied it also to tzedakah and also to other things. But I mean, we already know that there's a bal te'acher by korbanot. You want to come and you want to bring a korban todah. And then it passed 1 chag, 2 chag, 3 chags, or whatever it is, the order, the machloket, 1 chag, whatever it is, and now you didn't bring it, bal te'acher. But what about the nazir? We thought there was a chidush by the nazir, that it's a special halacha by the korbanot of the nazir, that also that he's going to have a bal te'acher. So what is the chidush exactly? My chidush. Maybe you're going to tell me nazir beneder. If you're going to tell me that a person cannot be halal on himself, a chatat nazir, through stama neder, chatat chelef. What about chatat chelef? Chatat chelev is if somebody comes and he brings a chatat on anything which is shigigat karet, which means that if he did something, that if he would have eaten it, it was a karet. Okay, and then he went and he did it by accident. She'en matpisa beneder, that's not going to be chal on a neder. But you're still going to be over on bal te'acher after 3 regalim, right? After shalosh regalim. So if so what are we talking about then? I would have thought to say, if he would have said, Hareni Nazir afilu min hachartzan. Imagine a person comes and he says he's only going to be a Nazir on the Garinei Anavim, on the Garinim, on the Chartzanim, not the Zag, right? Not the right? On the Garinim, right? Not on the peel, right? So he comes and he says, and he's not mekabel himself ustam Nazirut. So I would have thought to say, having Nazir lakol. So Ema says the Gemara, lo liyaver alei mishum bal te'acher. He's not going to be over on Bal Te'acher. Kamashmanan comes to teach you, right? He comes and he says, comes to teach you. This is good according to the Mandaman, Ki Nazir min Chartzan, Avi Nazir Lakol. A Nazir from Chartzanim is a Nazir for everything. That means the second you say you're going to be a Nazir for the pits of the grapes. So you're a Nazir for everything. But according to Rabbi Shimon, that he says, you're not going to become a Nazir until you're a Nazir from everything. What are you going to say? Then furthermore, this is a chidush l'chumra. We never say chidush l'chumra, which means it is. First of all, right? Imagine a person comes and he says, you know what, listen, he likes the idea of long hair. So he wants to become a Nazir, but he needs to go to the cemetery. So he says, you know what, he's only going to become a Nazir for tiglachat. Or he doesn't mind not going to the... I'm sorry. to go to the cemetery. He has to visit the dead. Right? Or for example, no, part of the Nazirut is not allowed to go to the cemetery. Right? Or for example, he says, you know what? He doesn't care. He doesn't need to go to the cemetery. He was already like almost like a Kohen. He doesn't need to go to the cemetery. But what? He likes to drink. Right? There's a lot of people like that. Yeah, they like to drink. Yeah. They come, they drink. Yeah. Understand? So what happens? Right? He comes, everything except for drinking. So now here it says that there's a machloket. According to one Mandamar, the second you say from Chartzanim, which is again the Chartzanim are the pits of the grapes, that applies to everything. According to the Mandamar, the other Mandamar, no. It has to be, they have to be mazida tzmicha from everything. Meaning a person can't just say, I'm choosing, no, I only want just from the pits of the grapes. It has to be from everything. From the wine, from the tum'ah, right, which is basically from the beta kavarot, right, from the hair, has to be everything together. Question number 2, he comes and he says, what about this is nizirut, this is a chidush, which is going to be lechumra. Because here the nazir is going to be a sur yoter from somebody that's going to be mechfaresh nidro. So for why is it going to be elamai chidush? So what is a chidush? So I would have thought to say hoil or andalo damubet 4b. Hoil im gilach alachat mishloshtan. Imagine right now you went and after you did the shchita to one of the 3 korbanot that you're obligated to bring, right? That he did the giluach after shloshtan yatsa, he's going to be tzedek chovah, and now he's going to be permitted to drink wine, right? And lo liavar aleh, but he's not going to be over on the korbanot, right? Or not even on one of them. The bal te'acher. Kamashmanan comes to teach you the kesh that he is going to be over on bal te'acher even on the korbanot, which means that this: when a zir gets out, he doesn't bring 1 korban and not 2 korbanot. He's bringing 3 korbanot. He has to bring a chatat, an olah, and a shlamim. Okay, a sin offering, which that's a famous question. Why is sin offering? So we say that obviously because he's considered a sinner, and we'll speak about that another time. Right? Chatat, anola, a burnt offering, and a shlamim, and a peace offering. So therefore he comes and he says, let's say he went and he did the tiglachat after one of the 3 korbanot. He's obligated to bring all 3. He did the tiglachat after one of them. He's going to be tzedek chovah, the tiglachat. And therefore now he's allowed to drink wine and all those things. So I would have thought to say, so listen, he already did one of the korbanot. He did tiglachat. So now, technically, you're right. He's still obligated another 2 korbanot. But I would have thought to say, listen, he already did his main things. So now, if he's going to bring the other 2 korbanot in another day or 2, big deal. Kamash malan. That's what it says. That's what we did. A person is going to be over on bal techer. That's the first answer. Or if you want, you could answer another answer. My chidushe. What is the chidushe? Nishum the chidush. Nishum the lo mitpaise beneder. What does that mean? A person cannot be right chal a neder. What about chatat chelev? Right? Chatat chelev kate lechapara. Chatat nazir lemayate. So then what does chatat nazir come to? Meaning like this: when a person comes and he brings a chatat, usually a chatat is a sin offering, is a kapara. Right? Kapara alecha. What is kapara? It's an atonement. What does that mean? A person came to his sins. It was accidental. So chatat. Remember, a chatat is only in something which shigato. Right? If you did it with shogeg, that if you would have done it with mazid, you're going to be chayav karet. So, for example, the Chalil Shabbat. Right? If there's witnesses and everything, so therefore you kill them. Let's say there's no witnesses, right? So now, if Be'emet you did it on purpose, it would be karet, right? I mean, there's still karet. There's no death penalty because there's no witnesses, there's no warning, but there's still karet. So if you did it b'shogeg and you were mechalel Shabbat b'shogeg, you have to bring your obligated korban chatat, a fattish chatat, right? A big fat animal. Yeah, you heard, big fat animal, right? A chatat. Okay. So now he says over here, usually that's what a chatat comes for. Here though, chatat nazir, what is it coming for? Okay, why is it coming? To permit him now in the drinking of the wine and all the other isurim. So therefore, it's what's going on. Chatat yoledet. Says again, 1 second. What about chatat yoledet? Sorry, chatat yoledet. What does it mean? A woman gives birth. She also brings a chatat. That chatat, what sin offering did she do? She had a sin because she gave birth. Like, what's going on? Right? She is going to be over on Baltach. Right? So comes the Gemara and says, Ahi kashari ala lemecha bekochim. He says, no, 1 second. That chatat is permitting her to eat kochim. And the fact that eating kochim is a mitzvah, so therefore it's like chatat chelev, it's like the exact same thing, but it's not the same as a nazir. So right? So says the Gemara, but chatat nazir is not coming for a kapara, and it's not coming to teach you that it's going to be permitted for kochim or other things. So therefore, obviously, it'll be a different halakha to do with the bal te'acher. So Amar more and more comes and he says, Uman nedarim av mefer nidrot nidei bito mefer nidrei ishto af nezirut av mefer nezirut bito val mefer nezirut ishto. If you remember, at the beginning of, I think it was yesterday's daf, in the morning, right? What we went and we said? We went and we said we wanted to make a hekesh between neder and nezirut. So we went and we said, if you want to make a hekesh between neder and nezirut, so therefore we said, so apply all the halachot together. Bal te'acher, right? Then we went and we said it was bal te'acher, bal, not te'acher. Te'acher is to make long, but the bal that you're not going against your words. What was the terminology? There's bal te'acher, and there's bal. Bal yachel. That's the word. Bal yachel. Right? But lo yachel devaro. Lo yachel devaro means don't make your words profane. Don't come and make your words in vain. So there's bal yachel and bal te'acher. Right? Then there was another one we said. 1 second. A father could annul his daughter's vows. A husband could annul his wife's vows. So therefore, if you're comparing nezirut to neder, just like the husband could be mefer nidre ishto, and the av could be mefer nidre bito, so too, that means the father and the husband could annul the nezirut of the wife and the daughter. So says the Gemara, lama leikesha. Why do we need a kesha? Juxtaposition, the proximity to do them. Teiti mamatzinu. Why don't we just learn from mamatzinu nedarim? Right? What does that mean? Just we learn it from svara. They say just from neder. Meaning, asfara, you don't need now a kesh. Say, look, if a father could annul his daughter's vow, or a husband could annul his wife's vow, so to the husband, the wife comes, she says she wants to become a nazira. He's going to come and say, I don't want you with long hair and all these things. And it's I don't want you to shave off your head, but I don't know, you understand? Like, but so, I don't want that. So he comes and he says, Dilma gaben nedarim u'demefer mishum dilo itle kitzuta. He says, maybe by a neder, right? There's no ketz, there's no end to it. Usually a neder is a sul olam. A person comes, he makes a neder. He's not going to have coffee. So now, unless he puts a time to it, that neder is forever. Unless he goes to the rabbis and he finds a petach, he does a tarat nedarim, or the husband, he could annul it right away, the Yom Shimon, the day that he hears it. But then afterwards, that's it. But he comes and he says, that's why. But nezirut, there is a ketz. Stam nezirut is 30 days. So Elmaleh, I would say that the husband cannot do a tarat nedarim, or the father cannot do a tarat nedarim. Mashman comes teach you that you would do it because of the kesh. Next, the next two dots we were part of the Mishnah. Imagine a person comes and he says to his friend, I'm separated from you. I'm meruchat from you. I'm everything. He's distanced from you, right? So he comes and he says, Amar Shmuel. Shmuel comes and he says, Bekulan ad shiomar shani ochel lecha or shani tom lecha. In all of these cases, it has to be that he's saying that I'm not going to eat by you, I'm not going to drink by you, I'm not going to taste anything by you. Which means not just stam that he's saying, right, these lishonot, right, but he has to actually come and say with these three lishonot, in order for it to be chal, you have to add shani ochel lecha or shani tom lecha, which means that I'm not going to eat with you, or I'm not going to taste with you, I'm not going to, right? That's what you said yesterday about eating you, right? That was me, I'm not going to eat from you. So it's not just enough to say I'm distant from you. We're not distant from you. No. I'm not going to eat from you. I'm not going to drink from you. I'm not going to things like that. You have to add that in. So, Meitvei, we're going to ask the following question: it's already asur. Shani ochel lecha, shani tom lecha is asur. It's also going to be asur. So here, since it says pa'amayim asur, it's mashma that the first lishonot was by itself, even without the last lishonot. Meaning the fact that a person comes and he says, "I'm distanced from you," or "I'm segregated from you." That's already enough. You don't have to say that I'm not going to eat from you, I'm not going to drink from you, I'm not going to taste from you, I'm not going to benefit from you. The second I say these three lishonot, come on, no, that's it. So says the Gemara, no, hachika, this is what I mean to say. But when one of these words, that I'm going to come and I'm going to say that I'm going to eat from you, or I'm going to taste from you, and therefore when it says asur, it's after those lishonot, but it's not on lishonot levad. It has to be on all of them. Says the Gemara, but we learned the opposite. Shani ochel lecha, shani ochel is asur. Is going to be asur also. So it says, you have to learn if you already said it beforehand. Meaning, if you already said that I'm already given a neder from you, or all these things, and then you come and you say, then it's going to be asur. So ask the Gemara, but then that's a reisha. If in the reisha you already said both lishonot, you said mifrashani mimcha, mudarani lecha, or meruchakani mimcha. Plus, you had to add in shani ochel lecha or shani tom lecha, and then you're saying that's the same thing in the seifa. So then it's the same case as it. The reisha and the seifa is b'diuk oto. It's the same thing. So ve'od asur asur. Why did I need to learn it twice? So the Gemara says the Lamar Shmuel. Rather Shmuel says Tamad Amar shani ochel lecha shani tom lecha hu dasur v'chavero mutar, but his friend is going to be permitted. Which means the fact that he comes and he said shani ochel lecha shani tom lecha. For sure, his kavanah is only to prohibit himself, that his friend is not going to benefit, but not that his friend could benefit from him. That means even though he went and he said mudrani mimcha, that I am neder against you, it's only from me to you, not you to me. So I cannot benefit from you, but you can benefit from me. But if you did say on Mudalef, if you did say mudrani hemach, right? Lechudesh shnei nasim. So then it's going to be asur both ways, right? You could already see it because then you're not allowed to benefit from it. I could prohibit my properties to you.
Exactly, but
yeah, because I'm not benefiting from you, so I could prohibit myself to you.
Yeah, but if I want to